Well, good evening. I'd like to call the Planning Commission to order for Thursday, April 11th. Mr. Kassik, could we have a call of the members, please?
Sure. Joe Chappell?
Present.
Don McBride?
Present.
Renee Spinetto? Spinato, thank you. Absent, okay. And Chris Bryant?
Present.
And Vern Ogden.
Present. We would normally have public comments, but we have no public members here this evening, so we can dispense with those. We'd have public comments other than the matter at hand. So we'll go into the approval of the minutes. First of all, the approval of the minutes from the January 22nd, 2019 meeting. And let's see if we have everybody here that we can approve that one. Staff, have we got somebody to take care of that one? Let's see of the members.
January 22nd.
I think, yeah, the only one that was gone was Renee. But yeah, you know, of course, from the staff's perspective, my perspective, these minutes and the previous meeting minutes obviously were right before me, so I included them because they needed to be approved. I believe the last time in January, they didn't have them because they couldn't find them.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, we had at that 22nd meeting, we had Mr. Chappell, Mr. Bryant, Mr. McBride, and Mr. Ogden. So if I could have a motion from one of you about those minutes?
So move.
Second.
Moved and second on the approval of the January 22nd minutes. All in favor, okay, with an aye?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. And on the minutes of March 12th, again, the only man absent was Don. We still had Mr. Chappell, Mr. Bryant, Mr. Ogden. So again, a motion from one of you.
So move.
And a second.
Second.
So moved and seconded. Approval of those minutes. All aye.
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 Thank you. We'll move on to item 4, which is public hearing, followed by discussion and possible action on an application from Kermit Lee Walker for a request to rezone the property at 423 and 423 1/2 South Division from R1 Single Family Residential to C2 General Commercial Zone. Mr. Walker is not here to speak to us.
I was going to say, they just walked in,
my
Mr. Chair.
apologies.
Oh.
Well, then would you kindly come forward and state your name and address and phone number for the records and tell us a little bit about it.
Okay, my name is Tiffany Walker, and I am the daughter of Kermit Walker, and he's on his way in as well. And basically what we're wanting to do is, when my parents purchased this property years ago, I believe that we were under the impression.
You're going to set your microphone up there a little bit.
To restate my name.
Probably would. Do we
Okay.
need a restating? Probably.
Okay. My name is Tiffany Walker, and I am the daughter of Kermit Walker, and we own a property at 423 and 423 1/2 South Division. When my parents first purchased this property years ago, they were under the impression that it was already zoned commercially. So we never had any issues with it, and we never checked to see if that was indeed the case. Recently, we've been contacted by several people that have wanted to rent the building from us, and from that, we found out that it is actually not on your records showing as a C2. It's still as a R1, but there are several businesses within that block or so that are still R1s that have been businesses for 20, 30 years. So we're just trying to get this right on your records because we want to make sure that we are in compliance with the City of Guthrie and that it is a C2 and not a residential one, because we're wanting to zone it commercially, excuse me, so that we can actually be able to rent it out to a commercial business or what have you.
Okay, commissioners, any questions for Ms. Walker?
Nice presentation.
Oh, thank you.
And I, like you, have known of that building for years.
Mm-hmm.
I would have always assumed
Yes.
that it was zoned commercial.
Yes, I believe so. And I think the future plans for that is to change it, even the appearance of it, to be a commercial property, adding some additional parking in the back so that it could be office space for someone if they would like to have that in the back portion, because basically it's already been turned into that, you know, as far as the way the home looks on the inside. So it no longer looks like a home.
So you would, the front area would be the office area, and there's still a residential structure behind it. What would that,
Yes, well, the front portion is more of a, I guess you could say like a storefront. So any type of business that you all allow in that particular area would be able to be housed there. Currently, there is no pass-through on the inside from one side to the other, so from the front to the back. That's been closed off by a previous owner before we purchased it, so it's been that way for many years. But what we are planning to do is the back portion where the grass area is, that would currently be, I guess, like the backyard of the home. We're going to, with Mike's help, I believe, we're going to turn that into an additional parking so that it would be, again, in compliance with the City of Guthrie and what you all have us do.
Is that off the alley?
I believe there is an alley there, but
Yes.
it
Yeah.
sits on the corner, so they have
Right.
access
Yeah.
to
Right.
both roads. Actually, no, technically, I guess it'd just be Springer you have access, because you'd have to drive through the building if you come off Division, but
Yeah.
there's already somewhat of a pad already there from a previous garage or something. So there's already some sealed surface, with just basically being an approach and a new road, possibly a little more concrete for some added parking.
okay, is this your father?
Yes.
Would he have any, like
Yes,
to make
this is
any
my
additional
father.
comments? So your daughter's done a very nice presentation. Enough said, huh? Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much.
So our next comment we would ask would be staff, your thoughts on that? I noticed several letters went out. Have we had any response on the letters? And then what have you got to tell us, please?
Sure, no problem, Mr. Chair, thank you very much. As you indicated, all the proper noticing was done. We did not receive any letters or phone calls, really, for that matter, for in favor or against the particular request. And in general, as the applicant had stated, even the city, we would like to see that turn over to commercial, because in the area, there are commercial uses around there. This has always been, and so with the rezone approval, it would bring it into conformance with our comprehensive plan, which is for a general commercial zoning in that. So that's all staff has to add. And, just to add, we would recommend the Planning Commission find it to be approved.
Okay, commissioners, any comments for staff? I'll entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Motion has been made to approve and second. Could you call for the vote, Mr. Kassik?
Yes. Mr. Chappell?
Yes.
Mr. McBride?
Yes.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
And Mr. Ogden?
Yes,
So it's
the
4-0.
proposal passes.
Okay, thank you all.
Acclamation,
Thank you.
and thank you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Item 7 are commissioner comments. Mr. Chappell?
I'd like to welcome Dan aboard.
Thank you.
We look forward to serving with you.
Great.
And I hope everyone's been nice to you so far.
So far?
So
Yes,
far.
it's been very, very good so far.
Have you met Vern yet?
It's only been 3 or 4 days. so-
Yeah, that's it.
Commissioner McBride.
Oh, I'm good. You're welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Okay, Commissioner Bryant?
Yes, Dan, welcome to the team and to the City of Guthrie. Just a couple of things I wanted to comment about, two exciting events and recognitions for the City of Guthrie. A few of us from the city, staff and citizens attended the placemaking conference at OU last week, and it was a great networking opportunity and lots of learning and sharing of best practices. And then also, many of you are probably aware, Guthrie, a few of us entered the contest with the Strong Towns organization for the strongest town in America, actually included Canada as well. And they started out with 16. They narrowed down the applications to 16 towns and cities, and we ended up in the final 4. And so that's a testament to the strength of Guthrie and to our people who got involved and participated, and we were featured on their podcast as well. And so I just wanted to share that with everyone.
Well, I'd like to comment on that too. First of all, the first time I ever heard of Strong Towns was because of Chris. And I think Chris was directly responsible for this whole thing, the success that we had in it happening. I did listen to Justin's podcast. Justin is such a good representative of Guthrie, and I wished I had his vocabulary and his eloquence, but I do not. I wanted to thank Chris for just making Guthrie aware of the Strong Towns program. I was following his Strong Towns Facebook page way before I ever met him, and that was a great honor to go that far in that kind of competition, so thank you.
Thank you, those are kind words, and of course, it was the city of Guthrie and all of the people that make Guthrie strong, so I'm just trying to let everyone know.
Well, I don't think they all heard about Strong Towns until they heard about you.
And truth be told, my vision and hope is that we'll come to embrace many of the Strong Towns values and principles, and I think that will help us
Yes, I
going
agree.
forward.
I agree.
Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Joe. All I can do is add the seconds to welcome aboard. Good to have you, and we're a very interested, involved commission, and we look forward to working with you. And
Good.
you've got a great staff.
Yes.
We're very proud of Mike and the comrades down there. So good to have you on too.
Yes, thank you.
With that, nothing else to be said. We will adjourn this meeting.